What up? On today's episode of Ask Mr. Tarver, we are going to talk about Southern accents, do the distance formula, and we're going to talk about spaghetti pants. So it's a good one. Ooh, that won't get off. What up? Hey, welcome. You have just fallen into the first episode ever of Ask Mr. Tarver. What I'll be doing in this segment is answering questions about anything and anything that's appropriate, children. Okay, so I'm going to be answering questions in the best way that I can. So let's get started. I sent out a tweet, said, hey, shoot me your questions. Let's see how this goes. And got some back. Now, I will preface with this. I have funny friends, and so they threw out some questions that are a bit, how do you say ridiculous? Well, I just said ridiculous, so they're ridiculous. So I'll answer them the best as I can. So let's look at it. Okay, the first question comes from Christian Mayi on Twitter. He said, Canada, eh? I mean, yeah, that's a question. Yeah, because eh is a question. So I'm going to answer the best way I can. Canada, eh? Canada gets a rap for being super nice and like eh, and add on the end, eh, eh, eh. How do you say eh? Canada, eh? Canada, eh? Hey, welcome to Canada. You know, eh? Do you like to ride a moose? We got a moose. I'll ride the moose. I don't know. That was terrible. I'm not very good at accents, except for when I have. I'm solid at it. So the only thing I know about Canadians, personally, in real life, that's not something I made up from a movie. I went to Taiwan one time when I was in college for a business trip with my dad, and the company had brought in all these different vendors from all around the world. And we actually got along the best with this like big burly Australian guy, super funny dude, and he was super cool to be around, so we hung out with him quite a bit. But there were two Canadians, like a husband and a wife, and they hang out in a group. The thing about the Canadians were they fit their stereotype. They were super, super nice about everything. And the unfortunate thing was they ended up becoming the joke of pretty much everybody at every country. There's people from like Britain, Australia, other countries, Ireland, like all these random countries, and they still all kind of jabbed at the Canadians. Like we'd sit at a round table and we'd all be laughing and talk about stuff, and then they would make a joke about the Canadians and make a joke, and then finally the Canadians were like, what are you always picking us, eh? And they like kind of got a little aggravated, but they were still really nice about it. So they fit that stereotype, and those are the only like true Canadians that I've met. So that was kind of cool. Okay, so let's look at the next one. We got a question from Amber Hilton. It says, code? And I think that's a reference to the Beam codes. Beam is a new app that came out. It's similar to Snapchat. And I was one of the first people to post about it once it was made public, and I got on that morning. I posted kind of like my initial thoughts on YouTube, and it did okay for one of my videos. And so they're asking for a code. Now the last code I heard was pizza is available. It's a public code. I have personal codes, so if you hit me up, let me know, but they're trying to make them available to everybody. So really just kind of watch Casey Neistat's vlogs and you will, you'll be able to get in. So code is pizza until it goes away. If not, it's going to be open to everybody really soon. So that's the answer to that question, Amber. Thank you for asking. Next question is from, on Twitter, at Mac Danny Johnson. Favorite video class student? Tip, the answer is Mackenzie. So she tried to give me some help on this, so I'm going to have to think. Oh, who's my favorite video class student? Because as you know, I'm a principal of a school, and in the school there is a video class that I oversee. And who would be my favorite? And the tip was, the answer is Mackenzie. Oh, this is a hard question. So much pressure. Favorite video class student? I would say my favorite video class student is anyone who's doing what I've asked them to do. Any student that's actually creating something and making something. ABCs, always be creating. And I like students that are creating. So, next question. Oh, on Twitter, at DT Robbins says, are pants really the reason pants are so spaghetti? Pants on fire, factory spaghetti pants? Blah, ha, 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 turd. So, Are pants really the reason pants are so spaghetti pants on fire, factory spaghetti pants? I get you, man. I feel you. I mean, we've all had that spaghetti pants question, and it hits us all different times. I will say this. Spaghetti pants sound the least appealing of all the pasta pants to me. I would not mind wearing some, I don't know, like fettuccine alfredo pants or maybe some breadstick pants. But spaghetti pants just feels like you would get like that goo all over your knees, and then like the spaghetti, like if it's got the sauce on it already, that's just gonna drip and it's gonna stain the carpet. So yes, as you said, man, I would say yes is the answer to are pants really the reason pants are so spaghetti pants on fire, factory spaghetti pants. Okay, so let's look at the next one. Next one is from Sao Choi. Is that his real accent, or is he faking it? Wow, that's very sweet. This is my real accent. I talk like this. Actually, Sao, you figured it out. I'm not Southern. I don't have a Southern accent. I'm British, and I'm faking this whole time. It is time for me to come straight, mate. All right. Ah, dang it. That was Australian. Man, I ruined it. I'm serious. My accents always weave in and out of each other. Like I can never hold an accent. I'll start off, go, all right, mate. This is me, and I'm from Britain. Hello, Britain, London. London likes pretty things, and people are old and downtown, bang, bling, blong. Yeah, that was terrible. See, I couldn't even think of real words. My accent destroyed itself so bad. So my accents always weave in and out of each other. Except for this one, this Southern one that's coming out of my mouth right now. It stays Southern. So let me tell you too, I think I've posted on before on some of my channels, but if you have an accent, embrace it. You know, it's like Matthew McConaughey said in the movie Ed, just lean into it, okay? Be your accent, be where you are. At least you have culture. At least you have some type of, I don't know, something different. You're not just like bread, like plain bread and water. Like you have some sort of spice on you. And if it just comes out of your voice naturally, shoot, dig into it, okay? And if you don't like stereotypes that are attached to accents, do whatever it is that would just bust that stereotype. You know, Southern accents, people think, you know, you're not very smart and you're just kind of, you know, barefoot and pregnant and all that other stuff. Well, get some degrees, increase your intelligence, prove people wrong with your, you know, vocabulary, utilize different words, etc. You know, I wasn't trying to use fancy words there. I was just saying words that I felt would fit the situation. So break the stereotype. If you don't like that, don't change your accent. Change the things that people assume about you in your life. That's my advice. Wow. Thanks, Sao Choi. I guess I'm not very smart. I can't say the chick's name. Okay, next one's from Johnny Lum. Can you do a video on tips to become a lawyer? Not a lawyer, lawyer. I could, but it wasn't very good tips. I think this is based on because I did some tips on something about teaching, and they want me to do tips on being a lawyer. I actually have an undergraduate degree. I know I taught math for 5 years, and that's kind of what I'm known for. YouTuberly, sounds like Jubilee. On YouTube, I'm known for teaching math, but my actual undergraduate degree is in history and political science. So I almost became a lawyer. I looked into taking the LSAT and going and taking that path. I know at the time, whenever I got out of college, the market wasn't great for lawyers, although that would have been really cool to do that because I enjoy debating. I enjoy trying to convince people of my opinion, I guess. Not convince my opinion, but show my opinion to people and help them see it, whether they choose it or not. I enjoy that. Although with a lawyer, you really want them to choose your opinion. So I can't really do accurate tips on being a lawyer. I would just say make sure it's something you want to do. And also another thing is not every lawyer has to be the one that stands up and, you know, talks to the jury like you see in the movies. That's just like the exciting part that they put on movies. A lot of lawyers can be ones that just kind of study and report it and meet with people. And actually I don't know. Don't ask me about being a lawyer. I'm not very good at it apparently. Okay, last question is from Yules Restivo. Need math help? They utilize the opportunity to get help in math. I'm trying to find the distance between 2'4" and 6'3", so I figured So I figured it out, but it doesn't exactly seem right according to my teacher, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong. So, that's the end. Okay, so Yules, I'm gonna call you Yules. Is that cool? Yules. It's like Jules, but Yules. You're trying to use the distance formula here, okay? And the distance formula is square root, and then you got parentheses, and then it's x2 minus x1, close parentheses, squared, plus y2 minus y1, close parentheses, squared. Now, sometimes people always jack it up because they're like, oh, or they get mad on the internet. They'll be like, oh, you can't put, it's not x2 minus x1, it's x1 minus x2. Doesn't matter. You pick which coordinate goes where, as long as in the front you have the same coordinate you're using, and in the back part you have the same coordinate you're using. Okay, so that's the key there, is setting that up correctly. And I'm pretty sure that's the distance formula. I'm going based on memory, and I haven't done the distance formula in over 3 years. So I'm gonna look that up. Actually, I don't care. That's what it is. Use the distance formula and you can find the distance between these 2 points. You could also plot these points and then do the Pythagorean theorem. Go line to line and then make a right triangle out of it, and then do the Pythagorean theorem based on those links, and you can find it. That's another fun way that people do it. So that's how you do the distance formula. If I had a dry erase board, I would actually work that problem for you. Just work it. We're gonna work the problem. If you are watching this long, 1, I love you, you're the best. And 2, thank you. Okay, so they want to do 2, 4, that's a 4, and then 6, 3. This is what you get when you go to Ask Mr. Tarver. You get math problems. Wow, that Sharpie's strong. Blah. Okay, distance formula. Okay, so we want this to be our x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, I always write those up there because that way you don't get lost and double up on stuff. Okay, so let's start with our x2, which is 6 minus, and I'm going to mark that out because I've already used it, minus 2 squared plus, and then our, what did I just use? 6, 2, 3 minus 4 squared. Okay, 6 minus 2 is 4. 3 minus 4 is -1. Now, here's where a lot of people mess up on these. Right there, 3 minus 4, and then there. A lot of times, if you just put -1 squared in your calculator, it's going to tell you it's -1. That is incorrect, okay? You got to put the parentheses there, okay? Because it will actually do what it's supposed to, which is -1 times -1. If you just do -1 squared, it's going to do the square of that and then stick the negative back on there. Okay, so make sure you put the parentheses in there whenever you put it in the calculator. Okay, and then 4 squared is 16. And then that would just be 1. And the square root is 17. And a lot of times you'll either leave it like that, you'll simplify the radical if you can, which you can't in this situation. And a lot of times you'll just do this, which means it's close to equaling, and then you just find out what it is. It would be like 4.15-ish. I don't know. I think that's correct. So, and that's what you do. So you just did the distance formula. Thank you so much for joining my first episode of Ask Mr. Tarver. If you want to, please tweet or Instagram me questions that you want to ask. You can also, I believe, YouTube comment them if you would like to comment them on the YouTube channel. I would appreciate that as well. So, but then again, if you tweet or Instagram them, then other people see them and it brings people to my channel, which would be super cool because I would love for more people to find out about my channel, and I would really appreciate it if you would help them find it. But if not, comment, I don't care. Any way you want to ask the questions, and I will answer them. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Stay baller. Peace.